Hi, I'm dating coach Hayley Quinn, and in this video I'm going to be attempting to answer, with the help of my trusty whiteboard, the classic question of who has dating harder. Is it men or women? Now, I like to think of myself as Switzerland of dating because I actually work with men and women really equally, and it's not just straight men and women, it's men and women of all different orientations and backgrounds. Okay, so I'm first of all arguing my case for why I think the guys have it hardest. Well, let's start with the obvious one here. Traditionally, men, the burden has been on you to make the first move. You know what? Actually, is she going to give you a strong signal? Is she going to ask you out? Is she ever going to send you the first message on an online dating site? Probably not. So you have to learn to make the first move, or you will often get no inbound moves whatsoever. Okay, so I'm actually going to be telling you why women have it harder. You know, you can complain all that you want about having to make the first move. Women often actually face a negative social penalty and are ashamed and just generally feel like they're not allowed to make the first move, because if they do, they're going to be perceived as coming on too strong or unfeminine, or a bunch of other negative judgments we hold against women who show more ownership around their sexuality. To add insult to injury, guys are often shamed on grounds of their height. I mean, how heightist can like a Tinder profile get where it's like, oh, guys 6 foot and above only need apply. Even Tinder had a laugh on April Fool's Day and released a joke, thankfully, height verification badge. I mean, can you imagine if this was the other way around and there was a weight verification badge or something for women? We'd be pissed off. And yeah, okay, the height thing is a little bit uncool. However, women definitely get shamed in terms of weight and age. If I hear one more person say the comment, "You're very attractive for a woman of your age," I am actually going to thump them. Inherently, guys have less choice because they have to do a lot more work to actually generate that attraction. Because they don't have this constant queue of inbound people that are seeking to date them, they have to do a lot more to actually get out there. And okay, sure, some guys do date a lot of women, but get this, most guys in fact don't. Most guys might struggle to get even a small amount of women really interested in them. Sure, women do have more choice. You know, if they really wanted to, they could go into a bar and probably leave with someone, but let's not forget here that that poses a potential safety issue, and that also women are highly shamed for having a higher number of sexual partners. So the reality of having this paradise of guys to choose from never really pans out. Men experience more loneliness because of this. A lot of the time they might lead more solitary lifestyles. There's increased rates of male suicide. They have less emotional connections and supportive relationships potentially within their lives. They also feel less able to talk about their emotions. And if they aren't one of those really lucky guys who just happens to have lots of women in their life, they can find dating to be a lonely journey, and it actually can be very difficult and challenging to convince even one woman to go on a date with them. Now, women might experience loneliness in a different way, but it definitely happens. And also, to be quite frank, I'd rather be a bachelor than be called a spinster. At least as an unmarried guy or a long-term guy, it might feel difficult for you, but on the bright side, at least you don't have the whole of society asking, you know, have you met someone yet? Or why didn't you choose to have children? How this will show up in online dating is guys might literally have the experience of sending out like 20 messages a day, and if they're lucky, getting one response back. I mean, that is a lot of legwork at the start of the dating process for guys. I also understand that it's probably a bit frustrating sending messages out and not getting responses, but you know what? It's equally frustrating and demoralizing opening your online dating inbox and realizing that there's 100 messages, some of which are rude, some are inappropriate, a bunch of who just say hey, and trying to somehow filter through that and find the energy to go and choose the guys that you're most connected to. Guys, I also find, probably going to get told off for saying this, want to have a more experiential version of dating where they just kind of see how stuff goes. And often they're looked on to always 100% know what they want and 100% have a plan because they are a guy. I also get that you might want to take your time, or guys might want to take their time, but my time is really valuable to me and women's time is valuable to them, because the main thing that they're messaging that they hear is, You know, you got to hurry up or you'll be left on the shelf, or tick-tock, time is running out. So we feel under intense time pressure to make decisions around dating. And in fact, we might even feel like the dating ship has already sailed. Guys often also suffer from having pretty low standards when it comes to dating, and that's because they're in a space of scarcity, they're not getting very many dates. So if one woman that they're attracted to starts to show them a little bit of interest, often they'll want to cling on and try to make that interaction work, even if the woman is sending just emojis as responses, one-line responses, is giving none of her availability when to meet. Now, you might have low standards, but maybe our standards are really high. And the reason for that isn't coming from a bad space. It's because we've had some dating experiences. We really know what we want and what we don't want. And to be honest, our time is precious to us. We're fed up of people wasting it. And because of that, we're going to be super, super tough in terms of how we choose people. Guys can also often find that they are only friends with a woman, or only able to communicate themselves, having a more friendship, platonic relationship, when in fact they would actually really like to have something more. The word friend zone has got a bad vibe about it, because that suggests, I guess, in a way that someone owes you something for being their friend when they don't. However, feeling that you can't communicate with the people you're attracted to in the way that they can become attracted to you is really challenging. You know, it must be annoying as well being stuck as just being a friend, but what's more annoying is when someone says to you, or kind of makes out that you're in a relationship, or that they're interested in something more serious, when it turns out they just wanted to kind of use you or engage with you in a way that's more casual. And of course, sometimes you might be in the mood for something casual, but it's sort of disrespectful, the fact that no one's ever open about what their real intentions are. Guys are always in the position where they are expected to lead, to create, to have the plan, and learning that skill around leading and creating is at the linchpin of what comes for dating success for guys. And so with women, it's learning how to be proactive, and also learning how to receive and still to be open-minded around dating after some difficult experiences, and recognizing that the women's role in dating doesn't have to be waiting for your prince to come. And in fact, there's loads of ways that you can be super proactive. Now, of course, I've already acknowledged I'm Switzerland of dating, and I want to just give you a slightly playful and extreme perspective on men and women's dating problems. I was going over the top there for a bit of emphasis, so not all views expressed are exactly my own. However, what I wanted to give you the picture of is, whether you're a man or you're a woman, if you're there thinking that, you know, 50% of the world is having it easy and you're having a difficult time, it is so important to recognize that we all have our own sort of like cross to bear when it comes to dating, and men and women's problems sometimes are similar, sometimes they're quite different. But just because the problem isn't the same doesn't mean that problems don't exist. Everyone has their own challenges when it's faced by dating, and an easy, quick way to improve your ability to date is actually to, I know this sounds a bit care-beary, up your empathy levels, so you can understand that there are always at least two sides to any story, that everyone has difficulties, everyone has challenges, everyone has problems, no one has it easy. And it's actually about coming from a space where we're able to empathize and understand, rather than think it's all our bad luck. Anyway, hope you've enjoyed this video. Again, if I've missed things, if you think I'm wrong, write in the comments below. Would love to hear from you. And also, if you want to hear more about my advice about how to overcome these problems, because all these things are solvable, you want to head to hayleyquinn.com/real love, which is REALLOVE, if you are looking to be on my women's newsletter, and hayleyquinn.com/approach, APPROACH, if you want to be on my men's newsletter. And of course, if you like this video, hit subscribe, leave a comment, share away, and I'll be back again really soon.